Hey, I'm really glad you're here. Hey, listen, if you're ready to make real permanent change, something that will make your life so much better, you're in the right place. Today, I want to talk about how you can find your actual purpose, your purpose for being here, your purpose in life. And I don't know about you, but when I've met people who are very clear about their purpose, they it seems like they're making a beeline to where they want to be. They know exactly what they want to do next. Their decisions are easy because they know what their purpose is. And so that can be the one thing in your life that allows you to move in a direction that feels really good, that feels like this is right. And I know that for myself, that even though I have questioned my purpose a lot along the way, I keep coming back to it. It's almost like I can't avoid it no matter what I do or where I go or what kind of career I dive into. It always comes back to the same thing for me. And I know it can be that way for you. So let's dive into it. When you have a clear idea of what your purpose is, it will motivate you to move in the direction that feels really right. And it's almost like you stop questioning yourself. And when you do question yourself, it's almost a no-brainer to come back to what your purpose is. And everybody has their own purpose in life. Like, even if it's just to raise your kids in a way that this is how I would want to be raised, and you work really hard to make that happen. And then someone asked me the other day, what if does your purpose change? Does it change over time? And I have to say, yeah, it does. Before I had my son, my purpose was basically to try to figure out what I was supposed to do here. I knew it had to do with creativity, but I didn't really know much else. And I didn't know how to look for it back then. Once I had my son, I knew exactly what my purpose was. And no matter how difficult it got, I could always come right back to it because I knew exactly what I needed to do until he grew up and moved out and was successful in the world. And so that was my purpose for a while. And then on the day he moved away, I could feel a whole new purpose moving in for me. And that had to do with helping people to change their lives for the better. And that has been my purpose no matter which direction I went from then on. And even if I wasn't doing something that had to do with that, I would run into people that I could help or that needed my help or would ask for my help. And so it was just always there. It was clear, it was central, and I knew it. And so I know those times when I didn't know what my purpose was, I felt lost. I didn't know what direction to go in. I didn't know if I was doing the right thing or moving in the right way, connecting with the right people. And looking back, I think that every single thing I did do and direction I went in was not a mistake. It all led to this point, and I am way more aware of who I am, what I am, how I can be in the world, and all the things that are possible for me in the world. So, no matter where you are right now, if you're ready to move to that place where you want to know what your purpose is, I'm going to give you 3 ways to look for that. So, the first way is consider what you were doing in your life when you were between the ages of 9 and 11. Now, I had a friend who knew what her purpose was based on this because when she was between 9 and 11, she was in her basement creating a stage for herself. She didn't even have an audience, and she was putting on, plays or singing or dancing or doing something like that. Like that was what she wanted to do when she was playing. And that is a really important thing to consider because I think that before we hit puberty, there are things that we came in line with when we were about between 9 and 11, and we were pretty clear about it. Then we hit puberty and got confused because, thank you, hormones, they confuse us in a lot of ways. Anyway, so consider that. Think about what you were doing that you really enjoyed when you were 9, 10, 11 years old. And that would be one way to really hone in on what your purpose is. And then there's two more ways. One would be when you were in high school or college, what kinds of things seemed out of the ordinary for you that you really enjoyed? Maybe it was something you were doing with your friends, something you were doing that was like out in the world. There are ways to find clues about what you were doing between between the time when you were in high school or in college where something hit you and all of a sudden you knew something about yourself that was new and stood out. And that could be your purpose. So consider that for a while. Just kind of sit and let your mind, go over those times in your life and see if anything came up. So when I was in high school, I always thought it was odd that people came up to me and told me things. They would tell me things that were really intense about their lives or what was going on with them. And didn't I didn't think of myself as someone who could sit and listen to someone and that would benefit them. But it turned out that I was just attracting that. And I thought it was odd. I thought it was odd all the way through college and even into, my mid-20s. And eventually it did hit me. I had a few pretty big experiences that actually was a thing. That was something that was letting me know what I was here for, what my purpose was. And so that would be another way for you to consider what it is that you need to follow, what kind of thing you would be good at or the universe is sort of calling you to get involved with. So think about that. And then the last one I'm going to tell you about is, I know there's another one, is to just sit in a meditation and let your mind wander. Just let your mind wander with the idea, what is my purpose? Just let yourself sit with that idea. Don't give yourself any logical answer. Let your mind show you pictures or memories or things that happened that maybe you were not really consciously aware of were going on in the background for you. So let yourself really have that moment to sit with your subconscious and your meditation and just keep asking, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? Now, I did something similar to this when I didn't know what time I was born and I wanted someone to do my astrological chart. And so at night, I would ask before I fell asleep, what time was I born? And 3 nights in a row, I woke up at 2:58 a.m. And eventually I did send away for the document that the state has, and it said I was born at 2:58 a.m. So it could come to you in a dream when you ask yourself, what is my purpose? And it doesn't have to be a big, oh, I'm going to change the world purpose. All of us have a powerful purpose that is connected to every other person on the planet in some way. And even though you may not be aware of it, or you may get, an awareness that you're just supposed to enjoy gardening every day, you have no idea how that's affecting everyone else in the world. And whatever it is that comes to you, give yourself a chance to try it. Okay. So that is how you would find your purpose. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the comments. And go ahead and subscribe or share this with someone you think might be able to get something out of it. All right. So until the next video, you have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.